Maybe Marshawnlloyd, but probably not.
Roman Wilson, Marshawnlloyd. Hold on, I'll bring up
Ricky Purcell is the only other one that I see that I would think about here.
I like Pearsall. What about Ben Sinnott?
Nah.
Or Jatavian Sanders?
Nah.
It's just too risky with the tight ends till we see the capital.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go Roman Wilson.
Yeah, I think he's probably the safest right now.
Let me just bring up one other name. What about Jermaine Burton?
No, not yet.
No.
Post draft, you could make the argument if he gets the day 2 capital.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think he could end up in the 5th or 6th round pretty easily.
Yeah, it's probably between Roman Wilson and Ricky Purcell, and I think Roman Wilson's probably just safer at this point.
Yeah. He's also better, but yeah.
Yeah.
Pearsall's a heck of a player, man. I mean...
Yeah, he's like a not as good Roman Wilson.
There's not any... They're not really alike. Just because they play the same position slot, for the most part, doesn't mean that they're different players altogether. Pearsall is like an instant separator, where Roman Wilson's more of a gadgety guy.
Dude, I love my draft, man.
You're killing it.
Roman Wilson at 208.
In a 14 team.
Yeah.
Might as well be 15.
15 team, basically, yeah.
Yeah. Because of the extra pick at the end of every round. I think it's just the first 2.
Oh, is it?
It would be nice to be part of this draft. I had so many picks going into this draft, and I'm left with 502.
That's crazy.
So
yeah, I have so far I have Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison, drakemaye, Bo Nix, A.D. Mitchell, Jonathan Brooks, Keon Coleman, and Roman Wilson.
It's a good draft.
Yeah.
It's a very good draft. Those aren't all my picks, but I did trade a bunch of my picks to Chad. But, when you're adding Josh, and Amon-Ra and Hawkinson, it's going to cost you some picks.
Yeah. I think the T.J. Hawkinson trade ended up being pretty decent. So I traded you T.J. Hawkinson. I got Bo Nix,
A.D. Mitchell.
Yeah, Bo Nix, A.D. Mitchell, and... No. It was Bo Nix, Jonathan Brooks.
Okay.
And Keon Coleman. So
nice.
and a second,
it's scary.
25-second.
And it's really scary, but could work out.
Yeah, it could still go either way, obviously. But
I mean, it's
nice value.
a 14-team league where I'm hurting for players. So at this point, just need. I had before this draft, I had 12 players on my roster, and the average in the league is like 38.
Yeah, you need some picks.
Yeah.
All right. What up, Dynasty players in the house? It's Dynasty War Games. I hit you with the soft opening again. We were just talking about that draft, and I was about to tell y'all, save it for the show, and we'll talk about this draft that we're doing. Chad and I are doing in the show, but I just decided to hit record and make it natural. So Chad and I, just to catch everybody up, Chad and I are doing a 14-team before the NFL rookie draft. Full of some really, really exciting stuff, actually. Let's see. I mean, the first 7 went as you would expect. And then Brian Thomas, 108, as you would expect. But JJMcCarthy, 109. Troy Franklin. Penix goes 111. Penix, sorry.
Yeah, sir.
I promised you guys I'd stop doing that. But Treybenson, 112, actually is the biggest surprise to me. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, if he's your RB1, getting him a 112 is just fine. We just won't know until draft capital comes. It's scary as can be, but I mean, if he gets what you're seeing right now as projections, nothing wrong with it.
Chad?
Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather have. There's 15 picks in the first round, and what did Jalen Wright went 203, and where did I pick? I picked
Corum went 204. You took Brooks at 201.
Yeah, 201. So, yeah, I mean that's not too far. I mean, I think it's probably a little early for my taste there with Treybenson, but he's my probably 3 at this point. So,
It's a little scary for me.
yeah.
Well,
All
any
right,
of these
well,
running backs in the first until we see the capital is going to be terrifying. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right. So we're gonna do a mock draft tonight. Chad, can you join the mock draft on Sleeper, please?
and take pick 2, please.
I put a link in the draft.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in it.
Mike is also joining us. Anyway, sorry. First things first, my name's Jesse Schneeman. I'm joined by my 2 greatest friends in Dynasty Fantasy Football, Austin Bell, the auspicious Austin Bell. How are you tonight, Austin?
Lovely, Jesse. How are you, man?
Excellent. Excellent. And my main man, Chad Mendoza. How you doing tonight, Chad?
I'm good, man. Good. Ready to mock draft.
Right on. We're gonna mock it out. We're gonna try to roll through 3 rounds. No landing spots. This is just, and we're gonna say this at the beginning, right at the top, that this is just what we think of these players. It all depends on draft capital and landing spot. We know that, so we're not going to say that every time. I just kind of want to get that out of the way so we're not just repeating ourselves.
We probably will still, but
yeah, I mean it's okay.
Sounds good.
And there are some players that it's a little more relevant. You know, you might not even. Yeah. Anyway, Mike is going to join us as well, but only as a drafter. He's actually not. He's not with us on the podcast, but he is in the mock draft. So, he did switch himself to 4 as well. All right, cool. All right, so y'all left me with the first pick. Are you ready to start?
Let's rock.
Let's do it.
Yeah, 12-team super flex tight end premium. Well, what I'm going to do is pause when it gets to the CPU picks.
And just force them.
And just force them.
Yep.
All right. I mean, I'm not going to debate this. It's Caleb Williams.
Does anybody disagree? No.
Unless all of a sudden he falls out of the first round of the draft. Yes, he is horrible.
Yeah, I think the first 2 are pretty much chalk right now.
Yeah. Yep. Marvin Harrison's coming off the board next. Yeah. I mean, pretty
now
easy
it does
at this point.
Now it does get interesting. The next 4 picks, 5 picks, I think we all know, 5 or 6 picks, we all know who's going to go. We just don't know what order. So, Austin, what do you think?
I'm going to take what is still 103 and my second quarterback and take drakemaye. I feel like consensus has moved to Jaydendaniels, and I think a lot of it's this pre-draft hype buzz we see every single year. Hey, you need to stop it, Jesse. Jesse, look at the draft.
Got it.
You didn't pause it.
Yeah.
It feels like we deal with this every single year with these quarterbacks. These guys going to go in the first. This guy's going top 5, and I don't know. I feel like for the past 2 years, it's been Caleb Williams and drakemaye. I mean, it wasn't 4 months ago we were talking about, is it drakemaye or is it Caleb Williams? So I don't know what's happened all of a sudden, unless we're just getting prospect fatigue, and how this 5th-year senior has all of a sudden jumped a guy who for 2 years was in the same conversation as a generational prospect. So I'll take drakemaye, and unless the NFL draft proves me otherwise, he'll be my 103 90% of drafts.
Any arguments there, Chad?
Not for me. I have drakemaye as my QB2 as well. And I would have picked him there at 3. But I do think there are some questions. He just missed a lot of throws this past year.
Sure.
And he just misses a lot of throws, which I think is kind of the reason everybody's a little bit weary right now. The more people watch him, I think the more people are psyching themselves out. But, I mean, guys like Josh Allen miss throws all the time. Lamar Jackson miss throws all the time. And I don't think he's quite as bad as they were when they were, still trying to figure things out. So
he's not the athlete either.
He's up there with Josh Allen, athlete. He's just not the size. Yeah, he's a great athlete.
Josh Allen's a freak with that size.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
you finish the sentence with that size.
Well, but that's a big part of how he plays. He bullies people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not comparing. That wasn't the point of. I wasn't trying to compare the players. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You know, we see these players come out every year where we're like, okay, can they develop more once they get to the league? Drakemaye is still incredibly young. Still got some time to develop here. Maybe he fixes some things when he gets with a good NFL team. Hopefully, gets with a good NFL team, coaching staff, and yeah, he figures things out. I hope it's the Giants, but we'll see.
I think he's got some mechanical issues that he just needs to clean up. I don't think it's a stretch to think that he can fix that pretty quickly within the first year. I think because it's not that bad. He's got a little bit of footwork that he can clean up, and he'll be a lot. I mean, you see guys make progressions like that all the time, especially if he goes to Washington with Cliff Kingsbury. I think he's a perfect fit for the air raid system. That's when we saw him put up like his huge numbers 2 years ago in North Carolina playing in that system. And I saw Dallas post this in DWZ chat, and I went through and looked at Cliff Kingsbury's career because Dallas made a really good point. It's a lazy kind of thought to just think that Cliff Kingsbury just wants a rushing quarterback because he had Kyler. He wants a guy that can run the air raid. And yeah, that includes some athleticism, which Drakemaye has, but it doesn't mean that it has to be a rushing quarterback. So I think that he's very much in play for number 2. And I was very well said by you, Austin. I don't even add. So Mike took Jaydendaniels for 104. Do you guys have any reservations taking him there if you're on the clock?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah. I'm still terrified by him. I'm excited as can be if the NFL believes in him that way, but I'm still terrified, to be honest, especially with the two, I would assume, next 2 players discussed. They feel a lot more safe, and when I'm having an early first, a lot of times I need that safe, I can believe in you year one kind of thing. And I mean, the quarterback's insulated. I've said that plenty of times, but the player itself scares the heck out of me.
Chad, are you like petrified of Jaydendaniels?
No, I mean, I think that's probably where I would pick him too. I mean, there's an argument in my head on if I would go with one of the wide receivers first, but yeah, I'm going Jaydendaniels. I think 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it is scary. I hear you, Austin. It's only 1 year of production. You saw him from being a raw, toolsy guy that never really did anything in 3 years, 4 years.
4, yeah. I mean, he had moments.
He had moments, but he never really looked like an NFL quarterback to all of a sudden getting better every week in this LSU system. Maybe the light switch just came on for him. I think that's,
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, Joe Burrow had the same kind of thing going on at LSU where it just clicked.
So did Mac Jones at Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It happens, and
so
with guys that have that rushing upside, I mean, the floor is pretty high with him as far as getting value back. If you get halfway through the season and you see maybe this guy is not for you, or you don't think there's just going to be opportunities there to get your investment back. So, yeah, I have no problem with Jaydendaniels there.
Yeah, I don't either. If I compare him to AR last year, I actually have more confidence in Daniels because AR came in with like 0 years of production, and you're just trusting the tools, really.
Yeah, I was terrified at 102 to take him as well, so it fits my bill, I guess.
I'm not saying just because AR has seemed to work out so far that it's going to work out for every one of these guys. Every quarterback that goes high, but I mean,
what's funny is I mean, Richardson really just shows you how insulated quarterbacks really are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, we could say like it's worked out so far, but I mean, he played 3 games.
Yeah.
And he's still the same price he was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
last
Yeah.
season.
hurt 3
So,
times too.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I mean, that just shows you right there. You're going to get opportunities to get your investment back. If you want out of of Anthony Richardson right now, it's not very difficult to get out of him.
It's not. I've gotten really good deals for him. Just upgrading.
Yeah, he's still a first round startup guy.
Yeah.
The 2 that I've seen, he went 108 and 110. So I mean,
I think in Patreon 19 he went 111 or 112.
Yeah. I mean, the fact is, I really like romeodunze, but if romeodunze struggles this year, it's going to be a lot harder to get rid of him than it will be if Jaydendaniels struggles.
that's for sure.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Speaking of romeodunze, I just took maliknabers over him. But that's just because, and this is not a slight on Rome. I know you guys are going to turn into this into Jesse hates Rome, right? Nah, I just really like maliknabers, and I just really love the way his game translates to the NFL, or I think his game's going to translate to the NFL. Just raw talent, pure talent football player. I just think maliknabers is more what the NFL is looking for. You know what I mean? I just think he translates better, a little bit better. Not that I don't think romeodunze will put up huge numbers. I just think Malik a little bit better.
Yeah, he's a ceiling play for me of the 2. I think Rome's probably a little bit safer, and but Malik has that Justin Jefferson ceiling. He's that type of player. He has that electricity. But there's also a lot of those that don't hit, so it is a little bit riskier. But the talent's there. I mean, he's a ridiculous prospect, so I have no issue with it.
I mean, these are 2 guys that in most draft classes, we're not just talking about wide receiver 1, we're talking about 101. Like they're that good. So I mean, I really just don't think it matters. Just pick one. I'll probably try to get, depending on landing spot, try to have an equal amount of each one of them and just see where it goes. Because I mean, they're both just really good players. So it'll be interesting.
Yep.
All right, you got Rome at 106, Chad.
Yeah, I'll take Rome at 106. And yeah, like I said, I mean, kind of already touched on it with the neighbors talk, but I think in some years, either one of them could be 101s. So yeah, the talent.
All right, Austin, 107.
I'll just take my 7th player, brockbowers.
Right.
Feel like it kind of ends my first tier, or I guess second tier. Just go
Is this
ahead and
0.5 premium?
Yeah, it is.
Just an elite prospect. I saw NFL.com has the highest rated prospect in the draft class, tied with Marvin Harrison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Mel Kiper has him rated as like in one of the top 5 players in the draft.
Yeah, the dude's just plain old good. It's another. Honestly, it feels kind of like my last pick. We're kind of getting this prospect fatigue and trying to find these weak points, and he's not as good as this, and I just don't get it. The dude's a stud, plain and simple. Put him in offense, let him thrive, and let's go.
All right. I guess we're gonna skip Mike.
Yeah, he would have to message us here. I'll go ahead and text him.
No, it's all right. I'll just take a player. I just want to keep this moving along if we're going to try to do 3 rounds. All right, 108 is tough call, but I'm just going to go quarterback at this point and take JJMccarthy. He's getting all this buzz that he's going to go top 6. Like the Giants aren't going to let him get past them. And even if they do, there's still the Raiders, the Broncos, bunch of teams need quarterbacks. So I'll just take the first round quarterback over the 3rd tier of wide receivers at this point. I'll take the 2nd tier of quarterbacks or the 3rd tier of quarterbacks. It's just like we just said, their value is so insulated that I'll get a year to look at them, see if it works or not, and then deal them off. Just don't hold them for the next year because then you end up with Pickett or Mac Jones.
No, I think it's completely different than picking Mac Jones. I think
Okay, why?
I mean, just because the athleticism. I mean, the game is just an athletic quarterback's game, and those are just two guys that just don't have it, so they're not going to be afforded the, you know, the
Yeah.
longevity at the position if they struggle early on. Where you see guys like Justin Fields can have all-time bad passing numbers and still just stay on the field until he gets towards the end of his rookie contract because he's running the hell out of the ball. And I mean, it's going to be JJ McCarthy. People are not giving him the credit he deserves as far as his rushing ability. I mean, he's a very athletic guy.
So you think he's more like Danny Dimes than those other two?
Yeah, he's more athletic than Daniel Jones.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
JJ
very
McCarthy
surprising.
is more athletic than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones.
Well, he hasn't had his pro day yet, right?
Yeah. I mean, Daniel Jones has some kind of weird straight line speed where he runs even faster than even his 40 time dictates. His 40 time wasn't really that fast. I think he ran like a 4.6 or something.
Right, but I've seen him break off 50, 60-yard runs against the Eagles.
Yeah, no, and his MPH is really high. His miles per hour is pretty incredible. But JJ McCarthy is just a better athlete, just overall. He's a much better athlete, I think. So
I mean, I love getting a quarterback at 108. It feels really good to me, and I mean I like Brian Thomas, who would be the other guy I'd probably take here, or Xavier Worthy would be in play here. I'm just going to go upside and value insulation.
Yeah.
Would you do something different, Austin?
He's 8 in my rankings, but I don't really like it. I would want to take a receiver, but the right pick is the quarterback. So I guess when the NFL tells me that he's worth that, I'll be happy to get him there. As of now, I don't really like it. He feels like a Kenny Pickett to me. The first names you said to me more than anything else. But the quarterback's insulated. I'll just take him where I can, I guess.
I mean, we have to bring up the fact that if he goes in the top 10, he's being overdrafted.
In the NFL stakes or in Dynasty stakes?
It doesn't seem like the NFL agrees with that, though.
No,
I think wrong all the time, if we're going to be honest.
I think that they do. I think that they know that they're overdrafting him, but they're willing to do it because they know he won't be
I don't think so. I mean, all the reports coming out are saying that the NFL really, really likes him. Like, that they really like him. Not that he's being overdrafted or not that the NFL thinks some teams are going to reach for him. They think that he's well liked in the NFL.
Kind of like Will Levis last year.
I mean, every year you're going to have a quarterback that goes. They're saying is going to go higher. Same's happening with Penix now. That doesn't mean that it's. I mean, we can't just look back to last year and say, "Oh, this is exactly the same thing as Will Levis." It could be. It could also not be.
Of course not. But my point is you have to. At this point, we're just discussing whatever. It's just a discussion because until we see it happen, it doesn't matter. But it feels so much like the hype that Will Levis got last year. The dude was Vegas odds #2 overall pick and didn't even get drafted in the first round.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones, was
a lot of people were
saying, well, so you were saying that they were saying that a lot of people were that Daniel Jones wasn't going to make it into the first round, that he was going to be in the second round, and reports were coming out before the draft that not only were the Giants thinking about taking him, but there were multiple teams in early teens that would have taken him if he had fallen that far. So it's not just okay. Every time a report comes out where the NFL likes a player better than non-NFL circle draft experts, then it's rumor mill. They're just making shit up. I think. I mean, of course we got to wait till it happens, but I mean, I'm not throwing that off the table that the NFL might really, really like JJ McCarthy. And there's a lot to be seen from him. I mean, I think it's not that we've seen a lot of bad play from JJ McCarthy. We just haven't seen a lot of, play.
That's fair.
So Field Yates and Mel Kiper just had this conversation, and I'll just sum it up by saying neither one of them feels like he's that level of talent, but they both think that he's going to go there. And Kiper specifically said that he'd be overdrafted at that point, but from everything he's hearing, that he is going to go in the top 10.
Yeah, I don't think there's a chance he falls past Minnesota. at 12. I just don't
No.
see it. They need a quarterback so bad. Denver needs a quarterback so bad. Realistically, the Giants need a quarterback so bad. The Raiders need a quarterback so bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
so it's 6,
in that
8,
range,
6, 8.
I think it's
Minnesota's 11.
6, 7. Oh, yeah,
Raiders
they
are
got
8.
11. And what's Denver?
And
Denver 9?
Denver's 12.
Oh,
Denver's 12.
okay. Yeah, so I just don't see how they. You're right. He's going to go there most likely, but it does feel like a classic. We got to have a quarterback in this class because next class sucks. Let's take a shot.
Oh, and by the way, I'm almost sure that the Chargers are going to take Joe Alt. And number 5.
They probably should, but
I mean, that's
we'll
everything.
see.
Let's just listen to the things that Harbaugh is saying and look at the things he's done in the past and how he wants to build his team and it's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, until things happen, it's like it could be real, could not be. That's just the time of year we're in. Yeah. I mean,
somebody's gonna trade with Minnesota. So
yeah.
The crazy thing is, we won't stay on Joe Alt too long because he's not getting anybody fantasy points. But if the Chargers don't take him, I mean, he could fall way past where he should fall.
I don't think he makes it past Tennessee unless they trade out.
I agree.
At 7,
yeah. But even then, at 7, he's like Joe Alt is. I mean, he's legit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's another one of this talent is this draft is full of talent. He's a guy that could have gone 101 in a lot of drafts.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Chad, who you got at 109?
I'm gonna go with.
No, it's you. It's you, Jesse.
No, I just took JJ McCarthy.
No, you didn't. Mike did at 108. It needs to stay like that. He texted me and said JJ anyway, so it's your turn. Because it's going to mess it all up when the second round comes.
No, it's not. But okay. Fine. I don't really want to make this decision between Brian Thomas and Xavier Worthy, so I'm just going to go Brian Thomas. I love both of their games. Actually, no, you know what? I'm going to go Xavier Worthy here just so I can talk about him because Chad, soiled his name. Yeah, Chad, spit all over him.
Yes, he did.
In our chat. It's ridiculous. This guy, you know what? He reminds me a little bit of Slim Reaper in a way because he's a small guy that is way tougher than you would expect. Mm-hmm. He plays that's what I like about him is his toughness and his gamer dog mentality. Love this guy, man. I'd love to have him on my team. I'd love to have him on my fantasy team. He's fast as hell. He's not exactly the same kind of player as Devonta Smith. I would say he's not the same kind of separator, but he's definitely faster and will get over the top easier.
It's not the same talent level as Devonta Smith.
No, I agree. But
there are very few of those that win the Heisman. So
right. So I love this guy, and he's pretty much going to go in the first. Your hopes of getting him at 33 with the Panthers.
It's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was over the moment that 4-2-1 popped up on the thing.
With that kind of guaranteed draft capital, I'm just hoping he falls a little bit in the first and goes to a better team, that might have another established receiver to, draw defenses away from him a little bit. But yeah, I'm just going to go Xavier Worthy, mostly because I want to talk about his toughness and he's a football player, man. I love him, and I think he'll even get out there at his size and start run blocking for you.
I don't know what we can wager, but I bet you guys AD Mitchell goes before Xavier Worthy in the draft.
He might. I'm not going to bet that. There's no way. But yeah, right now I'm with Xavier Worthy. Is that who you're taking next at 110?
No, I'm taking my wide receiver 4 and Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas, all right. It was tight. I think if I was actually drafting, I might take Brian Thomas. You don't see too many guys like this out there that are that fast and that big. And he's pretty smooth. And even though he wasn't used in the intermediate, I think just because JJMcCarthy wasn't getting a lot of play, you know what I mean? I'm just saying there's room for improvement, and there's nothing about his game. There's nothing about his game that tells me he can't.
Except for his breaking and routes. That tells me he can't.
He's fine. Not every receiver has to run every route to be successful. Do you think DK Metcalf is snapping routes off? You know what I mean?
That's absolutely true. But he's got to go to the right system to excel in that in the NFL. Then he has to go to the right place.
Yeah, he's got to go to an offensive coordinator that understands him.
Yep.
But he's not a hard player to understand. Set him on go routes, comebacks.
I mean, he's not extremely limited. I don't think he's DK Metcalf limited.
No, I don't. You're right. I agree. I think he's much smoother. So I would say he's closer to like fast Michael Pittman than DK.
Much more talented Michael Pittman, in my opinion, but yeah. And I like Michael Pittman Jr. a lot. But
well, his raw tools are like his athleticism he's way.
Hold on, you're saying he's more talented than Michael Pittman?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm saying he's more athletic.
Well, I think he's a top 15 player in the draft.
He very well could be.
Yeah.
I like Brian Thomas.
You don't see guys like him very often. Would you take him at 110 if he was available over the rest of the guys that are there, Austin?
No, I have another receiver ahead of him.
All right, well, you're on the clock with 111. Who you got?
And I will take the other Texas receiver, A.D. Mitchell.
You have A.D. Mitchell over Brian Thomas?
I do. And
do you have him over Worthy?
No, I have Worthy. Those three are really going to be draft capital and landing spot for my, 9 to 11? Is that where? Yeah. 9 to 11 in rookie drafts.
Mm-hmm.
I like all three of them. Thomas scares me the most.
Text Mike
because of their rawness. He already did. He already texted me. It just, I don't know. I feel like A.D. Mitchell, as long as he doesn't go to where somebody else eats targets, he will succeed. If he goes to like Detroit, for instance, I'm gonna be terrified.
None of these guys are allowed to go to Detroit.
I think somebody might. That's what scares me, is I'm scared somebody might. But yeah, I love the player. He's a lot of fun, good size, good in routes. The yards after catch thing is the most perplexing thing I've about seen in this draft class. I just don't understand how he is so bad after the catch with his athletic tools. But maybe he gets better at that in the NFL. I don't know, man. He's last in the class in yards after catch, and it's like sizable. But then you see 4.34, and then all the other I don't get it. But I don't know. Olave was terrible after the catch in college too, and he seems just fine in the pros. So,
gotcha. Yeah, right on. I have no problems with that. Do you, Chad?
No. I would have taken him ahead of Worthy.
I will say that I would not have taken him there, but I don't have a problem with the pick. I would have gone with a different position altogether.
Yeah, I would have too, honestly. But yeah, he was. Yeah, I probably would have went Brian Thomas, then another player, but I don't know. I mean, I have no problem with Adonai Mitchell there.
Who's Mike got at 112?
He has the first running back off the board. Another Texas player, Jonathan Brooks.
Damn, 3 Texas players in the top 12, huh? All right, Jonathan Brooks to Mike. I wouldn't do it, but personally, I have none of these running backs until mid to late second.
Well, in rookie drafts, one of them is going to go in the first round. Teams need running backs too bad. There's going to be at least one that gets second round capital, and he's going to go in the late first more drafts than not.
I'm not getting caught picking who it is at this point.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, he's the most talented. I don't have an issue with it. I saw multiple reports now. They're expecting him to be ready before week 1, much less. I've seen hints about him trying to be ready for training camp. So seeing that makes it very exciting.
Right on. All right. Well, if I had 101 in the draft, then I had 201 in the draft as well. And I feel really good about going Caleb Williams and Michael Penix Jr. to fill out my my quarterback room. If I can get a first round quarterback at 201, I'm just doing it. The guy was way more athletic than I thought he would be at his pro day. He ran a 4.5 40, somewhere in the 4.5s, no matter depending on whose stopwatch you're going by, I guess. But it was definitely below 4.6 with a 39-inch vert, I believe.
38, I think.
Yeah, whatever.
38.
Yeah, something like
Just
that. Lot.
Just the fact that he did those at his pro day shows confidence. I think it's all about the medicals with him at this point, whether he goes in the first or not.
I'll let you go, Chad. I'm gonna be the downer. So
Yeah, I mean, if he gets first round capital, this is a absolute
well, we're not
steal
doing
here.
that discussion. Remember, we're not talking.
Well, the buzz
about
is right now
capital.
that the buzz is right now.
No,
that
I
he's
mean we got to
supposed
talk
be.
about. Yeah, we got to talk about
Because if
where
he's
they're gonna
not a
go.
first round quarterback, nobody's taking him at 201.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I mean, with the quarterback,
or maybe they are. I mean, where did Levis go last year? Top of the second round in the NFL draft.
But that was also with the stipulation that Tennessee. There was significant reports that Tennessee was trying like crazy to trade back into the first for him, and couldn't do it. And then he just ended up falling to them anyways. But yeah, they had traded multiple times to get back into the first round to get Will Levis. So I think that helped him too. But yeah, Michael Penix, I think he's going to get first round capital, and if he does, I mean, you guys know with me, quarterbacks are coin flips unless they're the elite of the elite prospects. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think that's a steal there.
Austin,
as a prospect, their the two next QBs are player 21 and 22 for me. So currently, without NFL capital, I'm not touching them. I'll take somebody else I feel better about. And if I miss on the quarterback, so what? I've missed on a lot of them before. I missed on Daniel Jones. I missed on Will Levis. I unfortunately also missed on C.J. Stroud. So it goes both ways.
Yeah, I mean,
missing on Daniel Jones and Will Levis is,
it's fine. I could get a late first for him.
I mean, at Daniel Jones at one point you could get a mid first for him, and
you had to take him in the late first, so it's not much different.
No, Daniel Jones, you took him in the late first. No, he went like 208.
Okay, just for me as a prospect, I'm just not doing it. I'm gonna miss some. I'll probably take on my dart throw rosters. Like I have some rebuilds at the 202 or 3. If they're sitting there, sure, I'll take the quarterback and just hope it happens. But any times where I'm only, if I have 4 picks in a draft before the NFL draft, I'm not using it on a guy I don't feel confident in. I feel great about another 5 or 10 players. I'd rather just do that.
All right, so here's a question for you. And Chad was faced with this a little bit in the draft that he had to do as well. Do you take – all right, so for instance, I have 104 and like 109 and 110 in P19 in their rookie draft. I need both a wide receiver 2, 1, and a quarterback 3. So do I, at 104, take Daniels or Drakemaye, whichever one falls to me, and then try to get a wide receiver with 109, like A.D. Mitchell or something? Or do I take Maliknabers at 104 and then try to fill my QB3 with like Bo Nix or Penix or JJMccarthy?
I mean, as of now, of course, I'm going to take the quarterback early and just pick one of the receivers. But if you're drafting after the NFL draft, then your answer is going to tell you yourself.
So you're saying if one of those quarterbacks goes in the first round, you would take them with the 109 or 110?
Yeah, I feel much better about it because at least I know he's going to have a couple years of security. And as we always talk about, insulation at quarterback's a different thing. I'm speaking just on the prospect side. I'm not touching him early in the second until I see the NFL and an NFL team say, this is our guy. We're going to give him a good shot.
I'm leaning that way. If I can get a first round quarterback with the 110, I'm leaning to that and taking Neighbors, to pair with Nico Collins to be my top 2 wide receivers. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. What do you think, Chad?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it just depends who QB1, QB2 are. Like if you're like, okay, yeah, I need a
Oh, I have
QB3, but my QB1 and QB2 are Anthony Richardson and
Kyler.
some other, yeah, Kyler, right? Then I'm like,
I have
okay, maybe I
Herbert.
want the higher prospect.
I have Herbert and Kyler.
Yeah, I'd probably want the quarterback I feel better about. But I mean, I don't know. Like I wouldn't even throw out the window taking the quarterback in both spots.
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, I'm just saying if they both get first round draft capital, um, I mean, you can always just move off of the guy later. That I mean, it's just with wide receivers that go late in the first round. If they struggle, you cannot get what you paid for them. You're not going to get it. They've got to show
Right.
something, and that's just such a big risk. With neighbors and Odunze, they're going to be insulated a bit more because they're just elite prospects, and that's just what happens with the. I mean, that comes with the territory. But with quarterbacks, I mean, they're going to be protected if they get the first round capital, no matter what, because rookie quarterbacks struggle all the time and come out the other end just fine. So, yeah, I mean, I'd just go with the quarterback if I had any doubts about it, unless some wide receiver that I really like fell, like let's say, you know, uh,
Well, let's
shit, I
say,
don't.
and for his rankings, let's say Brian Thomas and Worthy are there at 9 and 10, and you took Jaydendaniels or drakemaye at 104. Are you not thrilled taking both of those guys there?
Yeah, I mean, if it's definitely team dependent, if you really are hurting for a wide receiver and you have Xavier Worthy and Brian Thomas ranked really high in your overall rankings, and yeah, go for it. But I just would really really consider just going with both quarterbacks too and saying, okay, I'm gonna get this quarterback situation figured out with with three of these four guys, and the last guy I can trade him for a really nice pick, or two, so.
Not a bad call. All right. I like it. Chad, who you got a 202?
202. I'm gonna go with Bo Nix.
Okay, repeat conversation we just
Yeah, retweet.
had.
Yeah, we can skip
Retweet.
it. We just had it. Yeah.
All right. Because, I mean, these guys really are
Yeah, landing spot, right?
landing spot in draft.
Yeah.
All right. Chad, Austin, who you got with 103?
I'll take my wide receiver 7 and take Lad McConkey. Good chance we see first round capital. Worst case, I would say top 40. And I just think he's going to be a PPR machine. One of the safe guys, always is open, good hands. Feel like a lot of NFL teams are going to really, really want him. So I'll take the talent there and be happy with it.
You get that guy in the right system, he could be Cooper Kupp.
God, I hope he goes to the Panthers.
Yes. Yeah, him or the next guy in my rankings are my top 2 realistic choices, assuming the other guys go round 1.
Oh, he'd be a perfect fit on the Panthers.
Yes,
Yeah,
him and
he'd be
Deontay
good.
beside each other. Oh my gosh.
Is Thielen
Yeah,
there for another year, or is he gone?
Yes, he's here. He technically can be here 2 more years. Technically,
Huh?
they have an out with no dead money after this year.
Okay.
So,
What a good player for Lad to
yes.
be in the same wide receiver room with.
I mean, and Deontay too for the skill side of it. I don't know about the mental side of it. Hopefully Thielen can help that part of it, but I agree. Deontay and Ladd and Thielen would be a huge improvement for what Bryce saw last year.
Is Deontay Johnson a knucklehead? I haven't ever heard that before.
Pittsburgh people say yes.
Mhm.
They said when Pickens got there, it kind of opened up Deontay and kind of changed him. And I've seen multiple things about the on the field laziness and the lack of effort and complaining. So I don't know if that was the Steelers.
I mean, but
receiver
Claypool,
corps.
Pickens, that seems to run in the family
Exactly.
tree
So
there.
I remember when I scouted him in college, I didn't see any of that, and I even feel like the first couple of years I didn't see any of that. So hopefully that goes away, but that is one of the red flags. But yeah, I feel like Ladd is honestly a really safe pick. I feel like he's barring just doesn't go to the worst spot possible, should be very successful.
Not my next receiver, but I don't have a problem with it. next three receivers on my board are very close.
Is he one of the three?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Who's Casper got here?
He has got Mr. Keon Coleman.
He wasn't making it back to you, Chad.
I know.
All right, Keon Coleman. So I actually like that Chad didn't take Keon Coleman because we promised him he wasn't going to have to defend him every week anymore. He's done that enough. You've acquitted yourself very well, Chad. I like Keon Coleman. I think he's a good NFL wide receiver. The the knock on him was his speed, and then he ran the slow 40, so it spooked me a little bit. But the rest of his testing was very, very good, and good enough that to the point where I don't really care about the 40. And I know that NFL teams have GPS numbers as far as play speed on all these guys. I think Keon Coleman plays faster than that, 4.6 David Bell 40 or whatever he ran. I just think he plays faster and stronger, and he's got incredible catching ability. I have absolutely zero problem Keon Coleman going 204 or 204, no problem at all. And I would say, I'm on the board next, or I'm on the clock next, and I'm taking Troy Franklin.
Yep.
He's like the last guy that I have in like a first round tier. So like he might go in the first round of the NFL draft, and he might go in the first round of rookie drafts. So I'm very happy to get him at 205 as well. But I think that Keon Coleman might turn out to be like a more consistent, dependable NFL and fantasy player than Troy Franklin.
I feel like Keon has to go to a quarterback who's not scared to throw him the ball when he's not open. Because he's not open a lot, but he will make the catch a lot.
He's always open.
And in T.O.'s words, you're dead right, or Chad Johnson, that's what it was. But he's not. He's hardly open, if we're going to be honest, per metrics. But he also catches the ball a lot, even though he's not open. So it's one of those things I really want him to go to a quarterback that'll just throw it to him. Like the Chargers in the second round would be awesome.
Yeah. I'll put it this way. So I think he gets knocked for his flaws a little more than the rest of these guys. Anyone after the top 3 wide receivers in this class has a glaring flaw, right? If you look at Brian Thomas, Xavier Worthy, A.D. Mitchell, Xavier Worthy too small, not polished enough. Brian Thomas, no intermediate game. Like you said, he has a snap off his roots.
You forgot that Xavier Worthy can't catch, but yeah.
That was when he had a broken hand.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
So, A.D. Mitchell, a little raw. Lad McConkey, top end speed, and which maybe he proved people wrong at the combine, maybe not, but and also
deep ball tracking.
Yeah, deep ball
would be my biggest knock with him.
All right, yeah, we'll say, and Keon Coleman, we've gone over his flaws ad nauseum. Troy Franklin would be the hands, the consistency, I'd say, the physicality. I don't know that that's anywhere near like an Xavier Worthy level for a guy that's only a little bit bigger than Xavier Worthy is nowhere near as tough. So like I'm saying, I think Keon Coleman gets knocked for his flaws than the other guys more. And I don't think his flaws is any more glaring. What I think is that what he does well is a more consistent, like he's better at what he does well than how good Troy Franklin is at what he does well. Follow what I mean? So when you're looking at the positive side, not the flaws, Keon Coleman has a skill set to be consistent in the NFL. And we're basically saying ideal landing spot and system for all of these guys anyway. Yeah. Right. So if you're saying Keon Coleman goes to, I don't know, the Chargers, I think would be a hell of a landing spot for him. Herbert with the big arm, trust guys to throw it up, that kind of thing. In a good system with Harbaugh, even though it might not be a high volume passing system, it's still a good offensive system. I think he'd flourish there. So that's why I would take Keon Coleman over Troy Franklin. But I still have Troy Franklin with the 205.
Yeah, I like it. That would have been my pick as well. Elite speed, even though he didn't test it, which I did see. He had the flu the week of the NFL Combine. So that kind of made a little bit more sense. I was really shocked.
Yeah.
He only ran what he ran. I expected mid to low 4.3s. Looking at tape, to see the 4.41, I was like, And then for him not to do it twice, I was really like, But seeing that he had the flu made a little bit more sense. But the dude's just fast. Holy moly!
Did he run it at the pro day?
He did no testing at the pro day. Just ran receiving routes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little suspicious.
I think he was fast enough. I don't think. I mean, I feel like you could watch even his worst game, and see.
I just thought it was
he looks
odd
fast.
He
looks fast, and he can get open deep.
I just thought it was odd he didn't run again, and I'm not doubting his speed. What I'm doubting is that he worked on running a 40.
Yeah, you could be dead right.
If he put a lot of effort into running a 40, then he would have at least tried it a second attempt. If he thought because he's faster than 4.41.
Absolutely.
So,
well, again, NFL teams have
that kind of. I mean, at least that's my hypothesis. I'm not saying he didn't, but
yeah, that's really fair. That's a very
makes sense.
Valid point.
NFL, like I said, NFL teams have GPS data on these guys as far as play speed goes, so they know that he's a fast player and an absolute steal at 205. And for me, this is where it kind of drops off.
Yeah, this is the tier break of where it like the next 12 players are just like pick your poison.
Yeah.
Until we see capital and landing spot, just pick your poison.
And I'd put Jonathan Brooks in with that too.
Maybe I'm crazy, but there's still 3 guys that I think I would not be shocked if they ended up in the first round of the NFL draft at wide receiver alone.
So I have 5. Yeah, I have 5 guys in the same tier as most of these guys because I don't know draft capital. But I still agree with what Jesse's saying is like after this, I feel a little bit less confident in the majority of them.
I don't think any of these guys are first round talents.
I definitely think there's at least one more receiver that can go into the NFL.
I think there's 2 that potentially get, or 3 that could potentially. There's 3 that I would not be shocked. I'll say that. I'll just say that. Reiterate it.
All right. Well, who you got at 206?
About early, but that would surprise me.
So I'm gonna go with Leggett.
Yeah,
I would be floored if he went in the first round.
You might be.
You're probably going to be floored, dude.
You might be.
I think he's like a 3rd or 4th round guy.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, yeah.
That size, physicality, and speed, there's no chance. He's not going to go out of the top 50.
No. If he doesn't go in the first, he's going in the very beginning of the second.
Yep. He won't. Honestly, I don't think he makes it out of top 40. I just didn't want to sound stupid, but yeah, I agree. He was the guy for me that I was thinking, like, this dude's a good chance goes late first.
This is the guy that I'm not touching in this draft. Like you said earlier, like you'll be the one that's wrong, Austin. I'll be the one that's wrong on this guy. Yeah. Just like Quentin Johnston last year or Kendre Miller. This is my Quentin Johnston. I think he's a better player than Quentin Johnston, but this is my Quentin Johnston this year. I think he'll be unsuccessful for different reasons.
I mean, I can see why he wouldn't be successful, but I can also see why he can be an instant playmaker for an offense. Like instant. Week 1 doesn't even take time to get into it because he's already older than a lot of the cornerbacks he's going to play against. So
my argument against him boils down to boy, I don't know what the hell that was. My argument against him boils down to there's only one Deebo Samuel, right? So if you're trying to get a player like Deebo Samuel and you miss, you get Laviska Shenault.
I think that's really lazy, to be honest with you. I don't think that's him at all.
I don't.
He wasn't even used like that. I mean, I am, but that's okay.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, like, that's okay. Well,
you're short.
I think because he was an alpha receiver at South Carolina, wore the same number that he's Deebo Samuel. No, he's not. That's not what he is. Like he didn't even get used like that. How many rushing attempts did he have?
Mm. How do you think he's going to be used then?
As an X, absolutely.
Blech.
And he's
I
going
don't
to
think he'll be
win
successful.
pretty consistent. In man coverage, he's going to win pretty often.
So you think he's like little DK?
Sure. I think he's
Okay.
actually a little bit better in route breaking than DK was.
Same argument. There's only one DK Metcalf.
That's fine until there's another, but that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't think he's like either. I don't know who he's like, but I think he's pretty enticing to watch.
He's like a refrigerator box with abs.
Why?
He's very
he can't
boxy
move
in his movements. Yes.
Oh, I loved watching his out routes. I thought he won almost every single one of them. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. We're going to agree to disagree on this guy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
But Chad didn't even get really to talk about him. Jesse just got rude and was like, he sucks. And Chad didn't get to say why he picked him.
You called me lazy. Talk about rude. Chad, what do you think about Xavier? But wait, Chad's the one that took him, so he talked about
but he didn't even. No, he didn't.
All right, talk about him, Chad.
I picked him, and you were like, "He sucks. Why'd you pick him?" And then you just ranted. But
I spit on the floor and told you to flush your pick down the toilet instead.
Yeah, I mean, significant weaknesses in his game as far as route running and stuff goes. I don't think he's it's just not him. But I mean, I don't know. I think he's a good athlete that has some interesting aspects to what he's able to do with in the short and intermediate game. Where I think he's going to be all right. I think he's just going to end up he has to end up in the right system, and if he does, I mean, yeah, he'll be fine. I don't think he's going to be a world beater, but I think early day 2, late day 1 draft capital, I don't think that's out of the question for him. So I'm taking him purely because of that. He's probably not the receiver I like best as far as some of the guys that are still out there. He's just the guy that I think is going to get the capital. Is most probable to get the capital, I think.
All right. Who's Mike got? Or no, wait. It's you, Austin.
I'm gonna take the second running back and take Treybenson.
All right. At this point, I have no problem with taking a running back.
Thank you. I'm glad.
I forgot Treybenson was out there. I would have taken him.
Even though that's the wrong one. Who's Mike got?
We're not going to talk about Treybenson.
Okay, yeah, sure. He's a good running back that's like everybody in this tier, kind of flawed. The vision isn't the greatest in the world. The top end speed. Good receiver, good strong back, good one cut runner. Gets in the right system. We'll say he gets in the right system. Yeah, sure. I just don't see the tools for him to be, anything more than a Dynasty RB2 ceiling. That's why I wouldn't go higher than this, but this is perfect range for him. No problem. I like Corum better, but I also don't think that Corum has much of a higher ceiling. I just think he has a higher floor.
Yeah. That seems fair.
What do you think, Chad?
About Corum or about Benson?
Benson.
We didn't take the average guy yet.
Oh, because I was like, if you want me to talk shit about Corum, I'll do that all day.
No, I mean, Trey Benson's not no world beater either, to use Chad's phrase.
Yeah.
Like I said, these guys are all flawed. If Blake Corum, had top end speed, or really any speed, then I could see taking him in the first round of a dynasty draft. But between the two of these guys, it's sort of a coin flip for me. Whoever goes to Dallas.
I think Trey Benson's probably going to be a really good player. The one thing I don't like about him though is
I think Corum's going to be a really good player.
Probably not, but
oh my god!
But Trey Benson, like he runs like he has no plan. Which
yes, exactly.
drives me absolutely insane. But
I hate that too.
I think it's fine. I mean, I think he was a little bit better this past season, but yeah, I mean he's just an elite athlete, and in the right offense that can give him some space. I mean, I think he can be really, really productive. So it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up.
He's got more of a plan than Marshawnlloyd. I'll give you that. I'll tell you that much. But we're not talking about Marshawnlloyd. All right, who's Mike got at 2-0?
He has got a surprise for me, but no, I don't think it'll be a surprise in real rookie drafts. Wisconsin running back Braylon Allen.
Okay. Again, not the running back that I would take there, but if you believe in him.
Yeah, I'm starting to warm up to him a little bit.
Mike's saying Braylon Allen goes in the high third to a team that needs him.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Maybe.
I, again, would take Corum over him. And
he hasn't been picked yet. Can you please stop bringing up that average running back?
He just got picked. How about that?
No, he did. Oh, you are next. Dang. Oh,
okay. Well, at least we already talked about him. So who's next?
Yeah. Who's Chad? Who?
I mean, it hurts my heart a little bit because I do want Ricky Pearsall here, but go ahead and snipe me.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Pearsall.
What? You're gonna go with Pearsall? Okay.
Yeah.
Over Roman Wilson? Do you see Roman Wilson?
No, I'm gonna go Roman Wilson. Damn it!
Okay.
I forgot Roman Wilson was still there. Yeah, I'm gonna go Roman Wilson. Actually,
I'd rather go for accuracy.
Out of all the wide receivers that were that were there, even Leggett, I think Roman Wilson's my favorite. I really like Roman Wilson.
I like him.
If Roman Wilson gets the draft capital, man, I'll be trying to take him in the end of the first. Like I really like Roman Wilson. And I think that there's a chance he gets like really early day 2 capital, and I'm gonna be so excited if he does. So excited if he goes in that 33 to 40 range. So excited.
Yeah.
So excited. I think he's a really good player.
I think he's a good player. I would be very happy to get him with the 210. Just the upside is really high. The floor is a little scary with him. He could end up being a little gadgety, but I don't think that'll happen. He's enough of a dog. He's tough, really tough football player, I think. I think he'll get out there and he's going to have to kind of learn on the fly some things that he wasn't asked to do in college, but I've got with the 210, I have no problem taking a guy like that. Or even if you say you would have taken him at 206 instead of Leggett, I have no problem with that either. The upside with Roman Wilson is high enough that these mid to late seconds are dart throws anyway. So why not take the guy with the upside?
I don't remember if it was one of you guys. I don't remember if it was one of you guys or if it was somebody that I just, or if it was an article I read or just heard it on TV or something. But somebody had thrown out Tyler Lockett with Roman Wilson. And I was like, damn, that is a really good comp.
I saw something like that too. It does make sense.
Yeah.
That's
really,
a good
really
ceiling.
good comp.
It's a good ceiling.
Yeah.
I think that was me. I'm going to take credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, it might have been. I don't remember where I saw it or heard it.
I'll go through my notes, but I'm pretty sure I did that.
Okay.
All right. I'll take the running back you should have taken, Jesse, and take Jalen Wright.
Jalen Wright. Okay.
Tennessee.
I don't have a problem with Jalen Wright either. The problem I have with Jalen Wright overall, again, all these guys have flaws at this point. He's a little bit. I'm sorry. Go on.
He's raw. I was going to try to say it for you.
Yeah. You're right. He's a little bit. What I was going to say is doesn't know what the hell he's doing out there. But if you coach him up, he's got amazing raw tools. Even though it's maybe a little inline. I don't have a problem with that if it's used correctly. So. Yeah, Jalen, any of these running backs that have been taken could end up being the best running back in the class. They all have the tools to do it. Yeah. Except for you, Chad. You're the worst running back I've ever seen.
I love this, Chad. Thank you.
Bastard.
I'm so glad it's not me this time.
God, and you know what, Chad? I actually was so nice and went on like a 20-minute soliloquy about your boyfriend, Keon Coleman, just so you didn't have to, and you still bashing my guy.
Oh, Blake Corum will be fine, man. He'll live.
Exactly, he'll be fine. He's
He'll be
not going to be. He'll be Maurice
Devin
Jones.
Singletary.
I thought you were gonna say Marshawn Lynch.
Maurice
I was
Jones
like-
Drew.
Yeah. He'll be MJD.
He'll be Devin Singletary.
Oh, I don't know about
Watch
that one.
once he gets into an NFL weight room, gets a little vitamin D ball. He'll just be an unstoppable downhill force.
I'll tell you what. If I draft him and he ends up Devin Singletary, I'm probably happy.
At this point, yeah.
I don't know. You're probably mad the first 3 years, and then you trade him, and then you're like,
Why not?
damn, I sure wish I had a Devin Singletary.
Yeah.
I made money off of Devin Singletary numerous times.
He's probably gonna be Giants RB1. We'll see after the draft, but
Yeah,
don't sleep
At
on
least
Devin
to start.
Singletary this year. Yeah.
I agree.
yeah, I hear you.
All
right,
This is
who's Mike got?
Mike's last pick, and he's going off with a banger. He's taking Washington wide receiver Jalen Polk.
Oh, I really like that.
Yeah,
I really
Me
like
too.
that.
Let's go pick here. Probably, yeah. I don't know. Pearsall's still there. That's all right. Polk's
I'll
a good
take
player.
Polk. I'll take Polk over Pearsall, but it's close. They're in the same range for me.
Polk's a good player. He's tough as hell. He's tough as nails. That's what I like about him. Really, really good hands. He might have the best hands in the class. That guy didn't drop passes. But that's as far as like the elite skills. That's all you got with him. Everything else is sort of average. But if you're elite tough and have elite hands, and you're good at everything else, and have functional speed and athleticism, I think you can be successful in the NFL. It's a good pick at 212. I personally would rather have a separator, is why I would go Pearsall. But that's just like a preference of what type of player I like.
Yeah.
There's also, there are a couple of like other really good players on the board too. Before I get into that, let's hear a word from our sponsor. No, I'm kidding. I forgot to recap.
I was like, what?
He was just gonna play like a Tide commercial or some shit like that.
No, we're sponsored. You guys didn't know we got picked up by Lululemon pants.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding. We didn't. But
Damn.
those are really good. They're really good pants.
Jesse,
I wish they were.
Jesse's wearing the tights right now.
Yes, I am.
please don't stand up then.
I'm wearing the yoga pants as we speak. All right. Yeah, I forgot to recap. So I hate when mock drafts don't recap. So I'm going to recap both rounds real quick, and then we'll go on to the third.
Sounds good.
All right. 101, Caleb Williams. 102, Marvin Harrison. 103, drakemaye. 104, jaydendaniels. 105, maliknabers. 106, romeodunze. 107, brockbowers. 108, jjmccarthy. 109, Xavier McKinney. 110, Brian Thomas. 111, Adonai Mitchell. 112, Jonathan Brooks. 201, Michael Penix Jr. 202, Bo Nix. 203, Lad McConkey. 204, Keon Coleman. 205, Troy Franklin. 206, Xavier Legette. 207, Treybenson. 208, Braylon Allen. 209, Blake Corum. 210, Roman Wilson. 211, Jalen Wright. 212, Jalen Polk. Two Jalens in a row.
Makes me happy with this. There's a good chance some of these receivers are going to be available in the late second. Like I feel like you can see Ladd, Keon, Troy, and Xavier all one or two of them available at 2.8 to 2.10 because the running backs are going to get pushed up. These people take running backs. That's what they do. So if three of them get day two capital, there's a good chance three of the four guys we mentioned jump some of those receivers.
Are you kidding me? Marshawnlloyd's still available, and people have to take him before some of these wide receivers.
Correct. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. So, there's a good chance, Roman Wilson could be an early third.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels wild.
So I'm on the clock here. I was just singing the praises of Ricky Pearsall, but I didn't realize There's a couple really good players on the board. I think the highest upside out of everybody left right now would be Malachi Corley. I'm taking him with the 301. He's got a low floor. He's got a huge bust factor to him. But man, I like the way he plays. Even if he's not like the same kind of separator Pearsall is, he's definitely got a higher ceiling, don't you think?
Yep, I like him.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah. All right, right on. All right, who you got, Chad?
Sweet. I'm next. I will go Ricky Personal.
All right. We've been over him. Just a ready-made slot player for the NFL. Just a quick separator type of player that every team needs. I'd say sort of like a big, like a taller, less stocky Josh Downs. Sort of his game, I would say. Maybe not as doesn't have quite the top end speed.
Yeah, I like it. I'll take Jatavian Sanders, tight end from Texas, is the 303. He's
I forgot about him.
Currently my tight end too.
Yeah.
Him and another tight end are pretty close, but in the third in a tight end premium league, I love it.
Yeah, he'd have probably get pushed up as well. Like pushing more of these receivers down.
Exactly. It's wild.
Yeah.
No Mike, he's done for the night. So
all right.
You're up, Jesse.
All right. Let's see. Tez Walker, no. I like Brendan Rice. Brendan Rice would. Oh, yes. All right. This is what I am hoping happens in every single rookie draft I'm in. I look up in the third round and Jermaine Burton is just like staring me in the face. I'll take him. Big and fast. I love that guy. I think that he's being overlooked. I could be proven wrong if he doesn't get the draft capital, but I love the guy's game. Do you guys have any problem with him there?
I have another 4 receivers ahead of him, but at this point in the draft, it's whatever. Take your guy.
Yeah, I have a few, but yeah, like you said.
Yeah, he's my guy at this point.
Yeah.
All right, Chad, who you got?
I am gonna go with who took Sanders?
Me.
Oh damn. Okay. Damn. That messes with my plan there.
Do you want to talk about Jatavian Sanders since he didn't realize he got big?
No. I'll go Kate Stover.
Ooh, okay.
Kate Stover.
Interesting.
Huh?
These tight ends are all draft capital dependent. I feel like after the first one, there's like 5 or 6 that I'm just kind of like, which one gets the capital in the landing spot where he can be useful.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of how I feel about him. So I have no issue. He's my tight end 5 currently, but at the end of the day, they're all the same.
All right, well, you're up.
I'll take Marshawnlloyd. He slipped far enough. No chance he makes it to 306 in a rookie draft unless the NFL just hates him and he goes round 6. But I don't see that happening. Too electric, too high of a ceiling, and fantasy people are going to love him. So
gross. I'd rather have that rugby player that KC signed.
Okay. Well, whenever you're on the clock at 210, I'll pick him up off of waivers and I'll trade him to you, and then I'll take Marshawnlloyd.
Cool. All right, I'm up. I'm sorry. Do you want to talk about this scrub Marshawnlloyd, Chad?
Not really.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to. Oh man, this is a tough choice. F it. I'll go Bucky Irving and say that the hate has gone way too far. At 307, I'll take Bucky Irving. The tape's awesome on him. The testing might not be great, but the tape is awesome on this kid. My only fear is that he gets blown up so bad in pass protection that he just can't really even get on the field on third down. So he's not a third down back. And then what role does he really have? Because he's maybe not be able to be trusted on early downs, but I don't care. It's 307. Like I said, I like the tape. I'll take him.
I like it.
I'd rather have him than somebody like Will Shipley, who I don't like the tape. I would consider Audric Estime here too, because I do like tape on him as well. And then there's some tight ends as well. But Chad, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Javon Baker.
Damn it.
But I'm gonna pretend like I'm taking Moose Muhammad because that's a more fun of a pick. So.
I see it too.
Man, I wish Moose Muhammad was a better football player. How fun would that be?
Oh, the son? I thought you were about the pops. I was like, hold on now.
Oh,
so
Moose Muhammad is Mushi
Muhammad's
son?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Played for A&M or played for A&M. But yeah.
You said Moose, and that's what Panthers fans called him. So when you said it, I was just like, oh, yeah, that's him. I didn't think you were. I forgot that was actually his son's name.
Mushi Muhammad won me some fantasy money.
Dude, I love that dude, man. Yeah, he was awesome. Great childhood memories watching him. Like I said, I wish Moose was a better player.
Yeah.
Back to Javon Baker. I mean, fine with the 308. Just I wouldn't take him, really any higher.
I mean, he's probably going to get decent draft capital. I really like him.
He's going to get mid-day 2 capital, in my opinion. I think there's a real shot he goes in the second.
Yeah, okay. I think so too.
Oh, in the second?
Yeah.
There's too many receivers, though. There's so many receivers.
That's fine. And I think he goes above a decent amount of guys we've already. He's definitely going to go above Jermaine Burton. That's for sure. Easily. And probably above Corley. I think there's an argument above Pearsall.
I don't know about Malachi Corley.
You need to go back and watch the tape on Jermaine Burton from this year.
Okay.
Thank you.
You had me until Malachi Corley and Purcell.
I have all three of them ranked. We're literally 1, 2, 3 beside each other. I just think the NFL is going to like Baker, so that's what I meant. I think they're going to go right around each other.
I don't know, man. I don't know what there is to like, but okay. All right, you're up.
I'll take the next tight end on my list, Ben Sinnott.
All right.
K-State. Again, just one of these guys are going to be good, and so until I figure out who, I'll just keep taking them. Great athlete, good hands, solid blocker, just another tight end prospect.
Did you hear him compare himself to damn it, I'm blanking. Detroit's tight end?
Laporta?
Yeah. Sinnott. He said he models himself after Sam Laporta. He's the same kind of player, he says.
Interesting.
I mean, I kind of see it watching the tape. I
Not the same
Laporta
level of talent.
Yeah, I think Laporta was more polished, but I kind of see the same skill set.
All right. This is my last pick, so I have to take this guy because he is my dog. Just ride or die with Malik Washington. I love this kid. If he makes it, I want to be in his business. And at 309, or 310, that's kind of where you're at, right? It's who do you like that you think if they're successful, you want them on your squad. So that's where I am with Malik Washington. He's raw, but man, he's athletic and he's tough and he's a dog. And I just want that kind of guy on my team.
I agree with all that. He's the more I've watched him, the more excited I got with him.
I mean, he makes plays. Mm-hmm. I mean, granted, it was in the ACC or whatever, but still, he makes plays.
I bet.
Chad, you got any thoughts on Malik Washington?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. Who you got next?
Spencer Rattler.
Oh, all right.
Cool. Chad and his quarterbacks.
I don't think he ends up going this late. I think he's going to get decent capital. And
do you?
Yeah, I think he's going to get second or third round capital and end up going somewhere in the early third round of rookie drafts.
Do you think that his last name, that he was named after the rocks rattling around in his head?
That's actually not true. Apparently,
he just makes some of the craziest decisions.
You think so? I don't find that's the case.
Okay. I mean, there's no question about the guy's arm, that's for sure. He can sling it. I mean, look, if he ends up playing in the NFL, it's going to be fun as hell, and I'm going to love watching it. And another guy I would love to have on my team.
Yeah,
Because
he's a fun player.
He's a gunslinger for sure.
Mm-hmm. I'll finish it off with another receiver and take Jalen McMillan from Washington.
Jalen McMillan, Washington. What do you like about him?
Honestly, I just think he's a good receiver. I don't think there's a lot he does bad. It's probably not a lot he does. There's really not a lot he does great, but I think he does pretty well at being open enough for the quarterback to find him and catching the ball when the ball comes. And that is pretty important at the position. I think Odunze definitely overshadowed him, and he never really got his chance back in 2022 after that. But Polk plays such a different position. I don't know. McMillan feels like he could succeed in the NFL, and at 312, I'll take that chance.
I thought he was already off the board, to be honest with you.
I can't believe how deep this draft is.
Yeah,
in the late third round, guys that like he feels like he would be a late second rounder a lot of years, like a Jalen Tolbert type.
Might be a mid second rounder a lot of years, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's still guys that I went on my rankings and kind of did a little cross through guys selected, and I mean, there's still guys I like.
Yeah, Theo Johnson, Brendan Rice.
Yep.
I mean, I'll take Tez Walker in the 4th round. What the hell?
Audric
Johnny
Estime,
Wilson,
Ray Davis.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't like Will Shipley, but he has a huge fantasy ceiling.
I like him in the 4th. You know what I mean?
I like him in the 3rd. I mean, he makes sense in the 3rd to me.
I like him better than Eric Gray or Evan Hull that went in that range last year. You know, he's a better player than those guys.
You know what I'm going to end up doing, I think? I think my draft strategy this year is I'm just going to take all of the players with good DNA. So I'm going to go Luke McCaffrey, Frank Gore, Moose Muhammad, and just pray the genetics work out.
Just whatever you do, don't take Jamari Trash.
Is that James Thrash's son?
I don't think it's his son. I think it's his nephew, but I could be wrong. He might not.
Oh, well, yep, got to grab him too. So Jamari Thrash. Oof. He is in the queue. All right.
All right, and the only other player I want to mention is Anis Smith.
Anias.
If he gets drafted on the same team as Michael Penix.
It's Anias. It doesn't even look like that. Like, what?
All right, guys. All right, let's recap the 3rd round and then we're out. 301 Malachi Corley, 302 Ricky Pearsall, 303 Jatavian Sanders. All these guys feel like it's like, how did we let them fall to the 3rd round? But Chad's still laughing. Jermaine Burton, 304. 305 is Cade Stover. 306 Marshawn Lynch. 307 Bucky Irving. 308 Javon Baker. 309 Ben Sinnett. 310 Malik Washington. 311 Spencer Rattler. 312 Jalen McMillan. Are you all right?
Help.
Oh. All right, guys. That was a good mock draft. We're about when this comes out, we'll be 3 weeks from day 2, right? So yeah, this was our 2nd mock draft. I want to say we'll probably do one more before then. We'll come up with the format. Yeah, it'll be a little bit different than this one, just like this is a little bit different than the last one, but we'll come up with a format for that that'll make it fun and informative because that's what we do. All right, so winner of the mock draft game is me. So that's my 10th victory of the year because of all my host points.
Yeah.
Making Chad crazy.
Nothing to say to that because many times you brought up Blake Corum before he was selected, you automatically lost.
The best running back in the draft. Okay.
All right.
All right, guys. No, seriously, though. Awesome mock draft. We'll be back next week doing rookie stuff again. We'll figure out what it's going to be while we're gone. But actually, we've been threatening to do startup stuff. So I think next week we're going to do startup.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, we can review Patreon 19 startup, and then we can talk about startups that you guys have done and interesting stuff that's happening in those as well.
Let's do it.
All right. For Chad Mendoza, Austin Bell, and Mike Casper in the chat, I'm Jesse Schneeman, and we are